Even though DreamWorks Studio created several films that I love, such as Shrek franchise, Kung Fu Panda or Madagascar, my favorite studio dealing with animation production remains Pixar. Both technically and humanistically, films that start with a shot of a jumping lamp are top-notch. What amazes me the most is that the creators are aware that the largest number of recipients of their works are children who cannot appreciate how much care was put into everything they look at and listen to. But many adults cannot either. Most artists working on Pixar films have proven that they are masters at what they do. In this video, I intend to praise the directors and screenwriters, because I know their work the most, but of course I will also mention other people who contributed to the high quality of these productions. I will start with the John Lasseter director who received the Amedimia Award for developing and inspiring the use of techniques that made it possible to create the first full-length computer-animated feature film. In 1995, the production directed by him, that is Toy Story, hit theaters. The audience owes the beautiful static shots in this film to Lasseter. Almost all shots were 100% sharp. The script was created by, among others, directors of later Pixar animations. The music for the film was composed by Randy Newman, who is the cousin of another film composer Thomas Newman, also associated with Pixar. The voices of the main characters were lent by Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. John Lasseter was the main director also in A Bug's Life, Toy Story 2, Cars and Cars 2, which are ranked last in many rankings of the films of the discussed studio. I really like Cars 2, it's my guilty pleasure. I'm aware of its flaws, for example the constant unnecessary zooms, and a lot of screenplay stupidity. Pete Docter is the most Oscar-winning director and screenwriter of Pixar, although mostly it doesn't really matter. In this case, however, he won the Oscars deservedly. He received the first one for The Great Film Up, for which Michael Giacchino also won the Oscar for Best Original Score. The Academy Award was presented to Docter and Giacchino in 2010, in which the competition in the category of Best Full-Length Animated Film was fierce, because the competition was a film directed by Wes Anderson, Fantastic Mr. Fox. He received other Oscars for Inside Out and Soul. The only animation in which he was the main director and did not receive a statuette is Monsters Inc., an animation that lost to Shrek in 2002. An interesting fact is that the voice of young Ella in Up belongs to Pete's daughter. This director is in second place right after John in the ranking of creators who have created the most Pixar films. Andrew Stanton is writer and co-director of several Pixar films and the main director of 3, Finding Nemo, Wall, Finding Dory. On IMDb in the ranking of 250 best-rated films, Wall is the highest of all Pixar animations. In addition to Wall, the top 100 also includes Coco, Toy Story and Toy Story 3. The author of the music for all of Stanton's Pixar films was Thomas Newman. In 2004, he lost the Oscar fight to Howard Shore in his music for the third part of The Lord of the Rings. And in 2009 to A.R. Rahman. Another great Pixar director is the creator of Ratatouille, adored by the audience. This film was great, although I prefer his other animation, The Incredibles. In addition to these two films, for which he won an Oscar, once winning with the director of Shrek 2, he also directed and wrote The Incredibles 2. In this film, lighting was used very well. In bird films, the positioning of characters in the frame often creates depth. It is a model not only for animation directors. In The Incredibles he dubbing a woman character. Michael Giacchino composed music for Brad Bird films. Lee Unkrich, who collaborated with Randy Newman and Michelle Giacchino, is the main director of Toy Story 3 and Coco and co-director of several other Pixar films. I love the shots he planned and the camera work. His films are one of those in which every freeze frame is suitable for the most beautiful photos competition. In Coco, a beautiful fictional world was created mainly thanks to very good use the different colors. Josh Cooley is the director of the short Pixar animation, Riley's First Date, co-writer of Inside Out and the director of Toy Story 4. He received an Oscar for the last of the above-mentioned films, and although Toy Story 4 is the worst of the series in terms of screenplay, it is something special in terms of directing. Cinematography in this movie is also beautiful. It's a movie made by a man who knows his stuff. Dan Scanlon is a Pixar director and screenwriter who directed two films that I really like, Monsters University and Onward, which have something about them that grabs the heart in a special way.